Welcome to another virtual edition of The Bottom Line, where Jim and I talk about business and finance. Jim, you and I have both covered markets for a long time, seen a lot of ups and downs. I mean, currently it seems like almost everything is up, despite the pandemic that's all around us. There is the one asset that might surprise some people is gold, which had been in the doldrums for several years. It just hit $2,000 an ounce. It's up 30-some% this year. And you know, I'm kind of scratching my head wondering why.
Well, gold is traditionally a hedge against economic collapse. It's what you buy when you think currencies are falling and the financial system, the economic system may fall apart. And, it's surprising because the stock market, the bond market, and the gold market are all telling different stories. Yeah, you have the stock market that's saying, we'll breeze through this pandemic. Profits will be up again in a year. Don't worry about anything. You have the bond market that's saying inflation will be a problem never, ever again. That's why interest rates are so low on long-term bonds. Now you have the gold market, which is saying, my God, the dollar might collapse. The Fed might let inflation run loose, and we'd all better, stuff gold in our safes and head for the bunkers. I don't know what's happening here. What do you think?
Well, yeah, it is rather unusual to see the stock market strong at the same time gold is going up. If you think of gold as sort of the Armageddon hedge or the doomsday hedge, that should be it should be going the opposite direction of the stock market because the stock market needs sort of good times and stability to thrive. And you mentioned inflation. Yeah, that's what I always learned was gold was a way to hedge against inflation. I mean, truth be told, it doesn't work all that well. It's sort of inconsistent whether it keeps up with inflation. But right now there is no sign of inflation. That would be, way down my worry list, certainly.
Well, if you look back 40 years, gold has not kept up with inflation.
No, that's right.
So it's a run for the hills kind of investment, and maybe the gold bugs are right. I mean, maybe we won't get through this pandemic. Maybe the Fed has already sent out a few little signals saying, well, we'd be okay if inflation got above 2%. So maybe that's what they're worried about. Either that or the collapse of the dollar. I don't know. Well,
I mean, yeah, I've been around long enough to remember when there were some sort of rules of thumb for valuing gold. One was called the golden mean. Gold is supposedly going to be 3.5 times the consumer price index. It's way overvalued by that standard right now. Another one was kind of looking at the sort of the cost of producing gold, the marginal cost of getting gold out of the ground. It's also way overvalued by that measure. I think a lot of people are just buying gold because it's going up. Same as they flock into Bitcoin, where it seems to be moving. There's just a lot of momentum trading going on around there. And if that's your reason for buying gold, watch out.
Yeah, that is your reason for buying gold. Watch out. When you buy gold, gold is basically just a big metal that sits in vaults somewhere. Right. It pays no dividend. It pays no interest. I don't know if you're a European investor and you see, government bonds at less than zero, you leaving yes to zero. Maybe you're in Europe. Maybe an investment that yields zero looks good, but I can't see that.
Well, that may be part of what's feeding money into gold is that the alternatives. For safe investments are not very enticing. Even our treasury bonds are all out to 10 years are well under 1%. So there's not much yield to be had. But I'm with Warren Buffett on gold. I mean, he says it costs you money to hold it because you got to pay to store it. You're not gonna keep it in your sock drawer. Probably that wouldn't be very very safe. So you're going to pay somebody something to store it. It's going to cost you money, and it doesn't do anything. Like you said, it doesn't pay dividends or interest. I'm with Warren. Let's invest in something productive.
I agree with you. I'm not heading for the bunker today, anyway. We'll see.
Okay, well, yeah, and I mean, if somebody is really worried about, a sort of a global collapse, or World War III or something, I mean, gold can be that sort of doomsday hedge, that geopolitical instability hedge. It's traditionally filled that role, but I would say a small allocation to gold at most is all I would want to see somebody doing. I certainly wouldn't go overboard at buying in at $2,000 an ounce.
I agree with you completely.